a few weeks ago, some random commenter I got asked me to design a Nomifactory base. And I was like, I know nothing about Greg Tech. And I made that clear in the reply I gave to the guy. I'm like, I know nothing about Greg Tech. I don't know how to lay it out in a way that's fitting for Greg Tech, but I thought might as well put my creative juices into it and see if I can come up with something cool. So I'm going to start the process of designing a base. I'm thinking of obviously going the futuristic aspect because it's a very futuristic, but also like a sort of futuristic modern sort of look. I also want things to be cleanly fitted into its surroundings, if you know what I mean. So like, for example, the ME controller, which is going to be the center of the base, is going to be sort of flush into a sort of like central tower in this big like room or whatever. And then I want to have like the cables going up the sides and then off into like wherever they need to go. So I'm going to get started on designing a sort of layout and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So after a little bit of designing, this is what I've come up with so far. So to start off with, we've got an ME controller in the center. I'm using these anti-blocks all around the outside because they look, I don't know, the borderless black lamps, sorry. They look pretty cool. And then I've got the same setup I have for my current playthrough, just P2P tunnels. The two ones on the side are going up into one controller, and then all four of these other ones are going up into another one. This is like sort of the center point of the base, and I've got these walkways so you can bring the cables around. I also made them extra wide because my experience with Greg Tech is limited to watching Carix82, his playthrough, and even then only the more recent episodes, but I know there's a lot of big structures in Greg Tech. So I designed something sort of like that, kind of. So I wanted to sort of like give a lot of area to build and also a lot of area to run cables. So that's what this floor right here is for. This is just for cable management. This pathway is just for cable management. I haven't actually touched much of the old AE2 inscribers and chargers, so I just slapped up something like this. I've got some digital storage here. I got these like two different designs, so they're all using... this one looks wrong, actually. Hold up, let me quickly fix that. I want it to be like this. So we want that sort of design. Hold up, one second, let me figure this out. So it's like that, like that, like that, and like that. Yeah, so just get some symmetry. They're all using 8 of the interfaces, so you can have one cable for each. I quite like this room. I think it looks pretty cool. Over here, this is the only other thing I recognized in the mods that I could see. So I just set up like a little area here for hostile neural networks. I don't know how much you would need in Nomifactory. In terms of the base, so I've got a structure built out using these black concrete as a frame. It's the dense black concrete. And I really like having these like red, sort of like, how do I describe it? Like sort of like bands coming around the outside. So basically, as you can see, it's like clamping on to the actual room, which I do intend to fill the rooms. I also want to make like maybe like a sort of like longer circular tower down the bottom here. I'm considering having it connect up to this and like having some bars like connecting it up to the top here. That'd be pretty sick. In terms of how it looks on the top though, I think that looks pretty good. I like the sort of like I said before, the bands going around. I like having them join to the top, and this one sort of goes because I want like this building have one come over, this building have one come over, but I also wanted one for this building, but I couldn't really bring it up from here because that's supposed to be a walkway. So I like pulled from the bottom and then went over the top and sort of like bent it down into there. I think that looks pretty sick. I've got this central shaft, as mentioned before, for whatever like ME stuff, and then also like whatever. I think it's like those big like dense cables like Greg Tech has. Again, my knowledge is mostly from watching Let's Plays. I've never actually gotten past the first chapter or the first little bit of LV in ATM9, and I got up to like 2 LV machines in my Nomifactory survival playthrough that I tried to do before I gave up because I find the microcrafting tedious, but that's besides the point. That's not what this video is about. I'm not shitting on Greg Tech. I just wanted to design this base because the guy in the comment was like, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. So I'm like, okay, I might as well design something. So yeah, I'm going to quickly flesh out this sort of structure a bit more and then start filling in walls and interiors. So it's been about, probably better part of a week and a half since I last filmed the segment, but I have been on and off when I get the chance working on fleshing out this design a bit more. And I've done quite a fucking bit since the last update I gave you. So here's what we have so far. Let me quickly get back into first person. This is my design that I'm going with. Mostly it's a matter of finishing off walls now, but we'll discuss the interiors first. So the interiors, we have these, what are they? Borderless white lamps, the non-glowing variants, because the glowing has a lot of bloom on it. And I have these sort of like glass and then hazard strips and then white sheet metal and then gray sheet metal bordering this glass to create a sort of like industrial modern look, which is at the end of the day what I'm going for with this build is a combination of modern industrial and futuristic. So if we have a look in here, we have like this sheet metal that comes up and over and then glass and whatever. But we also have like these fancy like red, like sort of sci-fi looking rings around the top. And here we have all of our ME stuff. And then I sort of like made the controller a little bit more viewable, just because this is the heart of the base. At the end of the day, the ME controller is the heart of any tech mod pack base at the end of the day, because that's where most of your logistics comes from, is your ME controller. So I wanted to have a sort of like it visible from all sides, because it's the center point. So you can see it's visible from all sides, including this one right here. In terms of what we have like some little windows here, but this is something I still need to flesh out a little bit. What I have been working really hard on is these rings. So using the Minecraft circle generator, I generated a 16 wide ring, and I built this one first, and then I built this into a tube. And I'm like, all right, I've got this tube here, but it's just floating above my base. I don't know how to make it connect. So I built another one, the same size here, so it was lined up with the top of that one, and then I just joined it into this one. If we have a look inside, I'm doing this sort of thing where I like knock out one of each of the corners so that it sort of like creates a more like natural feel instead of like the rigid like squares going up. This one was really fun to make. We'll get to that in a second. I basically just did, so it was red anti-blocks, or not anti-blocks, they're the glowing blocks, aren't they? What are they called? Borderless red lamps. And then I do black, borderless, black, black, borderless, black, borderless, borderless, and then black. I'm not sort of really sure about this bit yet. I don't know exactly what I want to do for this area. So this is sort of temporary thing. I've got these sort of like fixtures to hold it to the actual, like to hold this end up. I'm using the blue circuit factory blocks from, actually, I don't know what mod factory blocks are from. Are they just from the mod factory blocks? Oh, from Chisel. So I'm using the blue circuit ones from Chisel. Now, how did I get this curve? So basically what I did is I actually slapped on another ring, like one of these ones, as like a sort of like guide, and I slapped it onto the side of this. So it was matched up with the top, and it was matched up with the bottom. So it was like sort of flush. So it was the same height as this ring, but it was facing this way. And then I did another one directly adjacent to it. So the ring before started here and went up and around. This one started one block down, like here, and then went to the side. And for this bit, what I did is I went to the Minecraft circle generator, and instead of generating a 16 block circle, I generated a 32 block one. And then I just did the quarter of it. So it's 16 blocks all the way up. So to this point, which is where the edge of this thing is. And then I had the glass for the sort of top, this bit here, go straight following this curve that I had created. And then for each tier down, I just dropped the glass a little bit, all the way up until around about here. And then I went on the inside and I dropped it down one per sort of thing. Sorry, it's hard to explain. So basically, I went inside and then I dropped it down one, and I dropped it down one more, and then another one, and then another one, going like that. Sort of see what I mean? Where you're going like that, and then like that, and then like that, and curving them in progressively larger increments. until I got to the point where I'm touching this thing, and at which point I just filled it all in with glass. I think I made a small mistake somewhere because they're not exactly symmetrical, but I'm not entirely sure where I went wrong. Is this, what is the purpose of this? This, I don't think it's supposed to be here. Yeah, it's not entirely symmetrical, but like, it's symmetrical to the point where if you look at it from the outside, you probably couldn't tell. Like, you see that and you're like, oh, it's just a fucking curved tube going down. And I've got another one down here. This one's just sort of like fixed to the roof, so it doesn't need to be attached to this thing. I might still anyway, but on the backs, I used this factory block, the gold-plated circuit, and then I had a sort of sticking outing bit with a quartz glass, and using borderless red lamps, the glowing variants, along with a bunch of like red stained glass to create this sort of like thruster look. So it sort of looks like it's like floating forwards. It's like a ship, sort of, in a sense. And I haven't played with Draconic Evolution in the better part of 4 or 5 years, so I'm gonna have to double check exactly how it works. But I feel like this would be a really good spot for like the big energy orb that you store your energy in. That'd be pretty fucking sick, I think. So the plan is, I'm very happy with how this design's coming together. I like this sort of like realistic gray concrete like panel look to sort of create this like factory floor with these like white borderless lamps and provide light, but also guidance, I guess, where it's like you can follow them around and shit like that, or to an extent. Like, you can follow this one around and shit, and these ones are just for aesthetic purposes. The only thing that's going to be a struggle for me is getting the walls to look good for these towers. So I'm going to have to figure out a way to make them look good, but at the end of the day, the only thing really I have to focus on right now is just filling in this design for the rest of the walls. So I'm probably going to get started on that, and then I'll show you guys once the whole thing is done. And here it stands, the final product of all my hard work. This has taken me the better part of a couple of weeks to finish building, just because I've been busy with work and whatnot. But this is everything that I've built for this sort of factory. I've left this bottom bit sort of hanging empty, just because I don't even know if it's something I want to keep. Like, it kind of looks just goofy there, and I like sort of the idea that you could expand this out a bit more if you wanted to, sort of thing, where it's like you can build off platforms off of this, yada yada yada, so on and so forth, maybe like another thruster next to it. I like that idea, so I'm gonna leave that one empty for the time being. In terms of the top part here, we have all of the walls done, as we can see on all sides. I've also created an entranceway here, so you can get in through the top here, and this is the bottom floor. So we have this nice, huge, open expanse. We've got some pillars. We've got some nice, like, viewing windows. The ME controller, as always, in the center, with our ME system stuff that we need in here. And then if we go, I believe it's over to here, we can go up this elevator of sorts, and you can sort of see a little bit more of the outside. You can walk around on catwalks on the top, sort of get on top of the build, go around where you need to. But you can also go up these stairs here and into this room, which connects into the buildings that we have over here. So this is what I imagine would be like, I know that GregTech has clean rooms, so maybe you can make this into a clean room, for example. And then if we go up through this hole, we have the entrance to this bit, and we also have another way to get into here if you want to go through this hole. But you can also use this area for whatever you feel like. And then up here, we have another catwalk going across up into this room. And then in terms of over here, so this connects into down there. So you can also go up just through here and around inside here. And then, yeah, go up through here onto there. The only thing that I haven't done is connected this bottom bit up, but I really I'm not too sure what to do with this. So this is at your own discretion. But yeah, this is the finalized design for my Nomifactory skybase. I still probably won't finish my Nomifactory playthrough, as I'm currently sitting on like 3 LV machines, and I don't have the energy to microcraft much more, so I probably won't play this mod pack in survival. But here's the base that I've designed. Yeah, I think it looks pretty fucking sick. It's actually, it makes me want to do more base design videos, because this looks fucking awesome in my opinion. Like, I'm really happy with how this looks. So If you want to see like bases designed for other mod packs, maybe different styles, I'll do my best to try and see if I can make something up because I quite enjoy the building process. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, feel free to subscribe as always. Leave a comment. Tell me what you want to see, what other bases you want to see, like maybe a create above and beyond, like sort of medieval style base. That's something I was considering doing. But yeah, this is the Nomifactory skybase complete. I will try and figure out how to leave a download for it. I'm not entirely sure how to like sort of distribute world downloads. I know how to like save the file or whatever, but I don't really know how to distribute world downloads. But once I figure it out, I'll leave it in the comments section for you guys to take a look at. Thank you guys very much for watching and have a fantastic rest of your day.